Hi everyone. In today's challenge, we are going to solve this problem. The problem name is Reorganize String and the problem number is 767. Alright guys, so first of all what we are going to do? First of all, we are going to clearly understand the problem statement. After understanding the problem statement, then we will move to the logic part. And in the logic part, we are going to see how we can solve this problem. What are the logic and algorithm we are going to use to solve this problem. So everything we will discuss in the logic part. And after understanding the logic part, then we will move to the implementation part. In the implementation part, we are going to implement our logic in Python, C++, Java, and JavaScript programming language. Fine, guys. And guys, if you want to have a look on the solution, which I'm going to write in this video for Python, C++, Java, and JavaScript programming language, I will share the link in the description. You can go through that particular link. You can find all the solution over there as well, right? Fine. Now let's see what this problem says. So let's understand the problem statement. So guys, problem says given a string s, rearrange the character of s so that any two adjacent character are not the same. So we are one thing is clear guys, the input, right? So we are given only one input, that is a string, right? I hope it makes sense. So the name they have given s, right? So we are given only one input, a string. The name of string is s. Fine. The output what they want also a string, right? You can see given a string as rearrange the character of s so that any two adjacent character are not same. Return any possible arrangement of s or return empty string if not possible, right? So it is also clear that output is nothing but also going to be a string. Fine. Now, guys, what they are saying is they want we are given a string, right? So they want that we have to arrange this string, this s, in such a way that no two adjacent characters are same. So let me give an example first of all, some string. So let's say we have taken a first string A, B, C, B, A, right? So can you guys tell me whether there are any two adjacent characters which are same? No, right? These are two adjacent, not same. These are two adjacent, not same. These are two adjacent, not same. These are two adjacent, not same, right? I hope it making a sense. But if I just write same thing over here, A, B, C, and again C and B, so you can see these two characters are getting the same, right? C, C. This should not be the case. Or if I write C, B, B, then also these two characters are getting same. Means we don't want to put the two exactly same character on the adjacent place, right? No two adjacent character are not are same. There should not be the case where two adjacent character are same, right? This makes sense, right? So we are given a string. This could have adjacent character same, two adjacent character are same, right? So for example, if it is only one example, only this first example A B, right? You can see guys, this is the string which we are given, and there you can see we have two character which are same at the adjacent place, right? But what we have to do, we have to rearrange this string in such a way that no two adjacent character are same. So if we rearrange this string like this ABA, so you can see guys, there is no any two adjacent character which are same, right? But the string is same only, right? It contains only the same character. The condition that it should contain the same character exactly, two times A and one time B. I have it making a sense, right? Just we have rearranged in such a way that where two adjacent character are not same, right? Now let's take a second example. So in the second example, we have triple A and B, right? So this is the string we are given. So what we have to do, we have to rearrange in such a way that no two adjacent characters are same. So if I write A, if I write B, then if I write A, that's fine. It's not saying that I have a conflict. But as soon as I just say, I have to put one more A, right? Because I have used only two A, right? And one B. I have to use three A and one B. So where should I put one A? Rest next one of one A. Where should I put it? So if I put in the front of it, and you can see this is going to be a conflict. This is going to be same. No two adjacent characters should not be same. If I put at the last, and also guys, you can see that it is also giving an error, right? It will say why you are putting a two adjacent at the same place, right? If I put in between of any of these, then also you will get an error, right? You will not get an error. I mean, you will not following the condition, right? So what I can say, if anywhere, if I use any of the iteration or we can say any of the possibilities to rearrange this particular s, I will not able to make my condition true, right? My condition will always be false. What is the condition? No two adjacent character should be same, right? So I can say then I am going to return an empty string, right? And you can see in the output as well, example 2, we have an empty string. I have it making sense. But guys, we know guys that this particular thing examples are not so we can say depth, right? But I hope you get an idea, right? Just our main goal is to understand the problem statement. I'm not saying here that you must go to now the logic part as well and try to implement in yourself. But I hope guys you understood the problem statement. Problem statement says we are given one string, and what do we need to do? We need to just simply rearrange that string in such a way that we no two adjacent characters are same. Simple thing. This is the problem statement, right? And constraint, let's see. Constraint simple says guys, length will not be more than 500. It will always be less than 500. And we can say S means this particular string will always gonna contain lowercase English character, right? Means small a to small z. Fine, right? Now what we are gonna do? We are gonna simply say fine. Now let's see the logic part. How we can solve this problem, right? The main thing is this one, right? Please focus here more because this is gonna be the core part for this video. And by if you understood this part, you don't need to see the rest of the videos. You can just go to your browser. You can start implementing by yourself as well, right? Alright, so how we can solve this problem? See, there are going to be many ways. The first, let me show you the first page is going to be using a priority queue, right? We can also use a priority queue, but we are not going to do in this video. Why? Because we are going to use a second, which I find is really easy and an efficient one, right? So why? And let's see why we are going to use the second. So first, we can say simple thing, guys. Try to use find yourself this one, find this one, right? Priority queue is also going to use here. We can use a priority queue, but we are not going to use it here. But I want you to just try it out how you can use a priority queue in this particular problem, right? And second approach which we are going to use, let's see, approach 2. So we are given a string, right? So let's assume a string ab. So we are given this ab, or let's take another string because these are only 3 characters, right? So you will not get a better idea here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a new string. So let's say 4 times a, 3 times b, 3 times c. So let's assume this is the string which we are given with, right? This is a s. Fine, right? Now we have to rearrange this string in such a way that where two adjacent characters are not seen, right? This is the only thing which we need to do, right? Okay. So what I'm gonna do, you can see, guys, there are 4, 3, 7, 3, 10. So they are total 10 character, right? So what I'm gonna say, let me just scroll it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9, 10, right? So we have done the counting, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say I have to fill here, right, some characters, right? On this place we have to fill some characters, simple thing, right? But now, guys, let's understand, no two adjacent characters are same, right? This is the main concern of this particular problem. No two adjacent characters are same. So can't we do one thing? We can play with the odd and even indexes. Odd and even indexes. Why? Then let me put indexes over here as well. This is 0 indexes, 1 indexes, 2nd indexes, 3rd indexes, 4th indexes, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. But it makes sense, right? So now if I can say, if I putting a different character, if I putting a same character here and here and different character over here, let's me write here, just giving a random name. If I'm putting a here and b here, so they will never gonna be a, we can say, our condition will never gonna be false, right? It will always be true because we are just saying that uh, we will consider this particular pair, then no character are same, and here also character are not same, right? So I mean by this here, guys, we can start putting our all the characters which are coming maximum time on the, we can say, even indexes, right? Means we can say differences by the one index, right? So here first of all we have to keep a count, right? So what I can say, right? So what I'm going to say, I'm going to simply first of all keep a count here. How many times a come 4 times, b come 3 times, c come 3 times, right? So this is the only counting, right? We have just make a counting, a comes 3 times, 4 times, b come 3 times, c come 3 times, right? Fine. Now maximum time which character came, a, right? So what I say fill over these even indexes. So I fill 4 times a, right? I hope it making a sense, right? This makes sense, right? So if, and in future I will not gonna put a, right? Because I have completed my a occurrence. I hope it making sense. I have completed my a occurrence, right? So if it is so, then if any character I am going to put between of these, let's say B, C, anything, this will not give me a conflict. This will not make my condition false. Is that make sense, right? So just we are playing even indexes now. Fine. Now then, once this is done, then what we are going to do? We are going to say, okay, now this is done, right? Now we are going to pick our next characters. The next character is B. You can pick now any character. Now there is no necessarily that you should take a minimum or maximum, right? Now you can take any B or C. Let's say I'm taking a B. And remember, guys, first of all we have to take a maximum, right? And why this is, we are going to discuss also this also in a later. But for now we are going to take a B. So I'm going to put B. I put it here. And now you can see, guys, there's no more character left, right? So once you found that, now you have to put on where at set 10 index, but 10 index is out of bound. So if you are getting out of bound, just start from the 1 index. So you're going to put here 1b, here 1b. So you have completed your B as well. You have put inserted B three times. Now left with C. So insert C, 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 and C. And you can see this here is final string. Final string. You can return here. I hope it making a sense. Simple, easy level, right? I hope it makes sense, right? It is an easy one. But let's see one case also. Let's just fill again 10 indexes. Empty 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So these are the 10 indexes, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say I'm going to take again a string where I'm going to say my string is nothing but a 4 4 5 6 times a and 2 times b 2 times c. So I have this string right now. If I just found a occurrence, so a comes 6 times, b comes 2 times, c comes 2 times. So you know guys, this is the case. But in this case, what we are going to do, we are not going to fill anything here. Why? We will discuss this as well. So we have put it in indexes 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, right? So we have put it in indexes. Now you can see guys, we have to put 6. We have to a is the maximum, right? So we have to first of all take a maximum which is number a, which is coming 6 times, right? So I have to put this a here, here, but one more place as well, right? 2 to 4 and 5. So we have put only 5 times a, right? We have to put one more place a, but I can't insert here as well, right? First occurrence I can't insert in between of this. So what I can say whenever you are getting a maximum occurrence, whenever you are getting a maximum occurrence which is 6 here, right? You can see here out of these three characters the maximum occurrence was 6. So if your maximum occurrence is greater than the mid half of your length, right? Length was nothing but 10 divided by 2 is 5. So if your length is greater than 5, maximum occurrence is greater than 5, that means you could not able to make a string, you could not able to make any, you could not able to find any we can say arrangement where all adjacent characters are not same, right? So this here we have to return empty string. I hope you are getting this particular case, right? So whenever your maximum occurrence out of all the characters which are present in your string, the maximum occurrence of where whatever your maximum occurrence, just check whether that occurrence is greater than your mid. If it is greater than the mid of because middle of the length, yeah, half of the length, then you have to return directly empty string. I hope it makes sense, because you can see here guys, we found a 6 times, we have to insert 6 times, right? But here we could only insert 5 times. I hope you're getting sense. We could not able to insert the last a, sixth a, where we should, where we can insert, we cannot insert a in between, here, no, right? Because this is not allowed for us. If we do, then we will make our condition false, right? So we have to return false here. But if there is a case, if I just remove one a, right, instead of that, if I just put one b, so now my a occurrence will be 5 and b occurrence will be 3, right? Now we can make this one. So now you can see our a occurrence is 5, which is not greater than the half of the our length, right? 5 is not greater than 5. So we have put 5a, now we are going to put 3a, 3b, now we are going to put 2c. You can see we make our string, right? So this is a simple problem statement guys. I hope you understood this. So what we are going to do, we are going to move to the code part and let's see how we can implement this one. And it's the easy one, right? I will suggest try by yourself as well, because you understood the logic, you understood the problem statement, just the implementation is left, right? But if you face any issue, don't worry guys, here we are going to do the implementation. So I am first of all with the Python, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, okay, let's create first of all an array which will store the, we can say, what frequency of each character, right? So I'm going to say frequency array, which is initially 0 for each character. How many character could be there? There could be at max 26 character, right? 26 character, because all the they already told us they consist of lowercase English character, right? Then we are going to move to the character for I in range of s, or we can say, let's keep it as only, right? For I range of s, then what we are going to do, we are going to find frequency of what? Frequency of what? I plus equal to 1. We can't do this, right? Because I is a character. So we can say simply here ordinary of I minus 97. So this will make our frequency for each. Like for 0, it's going to say A, and for 1, it's going to say B. For second index, it's going to say C, right? C, B, this is nothing but A. So this is nothing but indexes mismatching, right? So 0 indexes will always have a occurrence of A, right? Fine. Once this is done, then what we are going to do? We are going to say simply find, you go to occurrence of all the characters, find out the maximum one. So we can say we have to find a maximum frequency, and we have to find that letter. Letter is of where the maximum frequency, right? Fine. Initially they are nothing but maximum frequency 0, letter is also 0, right? We are going to say for I in range of not range, we can say for index comma value in frequency, our frequency array, right? And what we are going to do, we are going to simply, okay, it makes sense. So we are going to say if our value is greater than our max frequency, right? Max frequency, if it is so, then what we are going to do, we are going to say our max frequency should be equal to this value. Let me do quickly because it's quite easy concept, right? And what we can say, that letter should be equal to this particular index. Fine. Once this is done, then what we are going to do, we are going to simply say fine, we got a maximum frequency and letter. If our maximum frequency, this is the condition where we have to return empty string. If maximum frequency is greater than our length of s plus 1, and here we can say divided by 2, Let me put one more bracket here. Right. If it is greater than half of length, right? If it is so, then what we are going to do? We are going to simply say return empty string, return an empty string, right? But if it is not the case, then we are going to keep setting over, we can say character, right? So we can simply say, first of all, take the maximum character, which we have already discussed. We have to take a priority of the maximum frequency character. So we can say for node, we can simply use while frequency of this letter is greater than 0, right? So keep inserting on the even indexes. So we can say our indexes initially start from 0, fine, and we can say index will always be increased by 2, because that's only we can make an even indexes. Then here before this we can say, okay, my result, where I have to store in my result. So I want to make a space, right? So we can say result of empty string into 20, we can say what, length of our s. So this is nothing but we have make a space, right? Here you can see we have make a 10 character space. So same thing, we have make a space. Now we can say on each space result of index should be equal to the now what character of this letter plus 97, which we have subtracted initially. You can see we have subtracted my minus 97. Now we are adding simply. Fine. Once this is done, then what we are going to do? We are going to simply say, now once all this thing is done, guys, this left is nothing but we have to take rest of the character and insert now on the indexes position, right? Simple thing. Everything is done. Now simply we are going to say for I range of 26. We are going to take a rest of the character while frequency of letter, not letter. Here I is the case. While frequency of I is greater than 0, keep going. If I dx, if I dx is greater than length of s, or equal to length of x, then what we can say, start from the 1. We have already seen this case. If index is out of bound, then what we are going, you can see guys here for b we have to put two more b, right? But it is out of bound, right? So we have started from the 1 indexes, right? Same thing we are going to here, and here we can say simply after that result of index should be equal to now what, result of index should be equal to I plus, we can say char I plus 97. We can write like this. Fine. Once this is done, at the end we can say we have to increment index plus equal to 2, right? So if it is done here, guys, we have done one mistake. We haven't decremented our frequency, right? Frequency of letter should be decremented by 1 because we have used one character. Array as well. Frequency of I should be decremented by 1 by because we have used one character, right? Dot minus 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 equal to 1. At the end we can simply say, now we got a character array. We can simply say dot join result. Let's see whether that's working fine or not. I hope it should work, right? Uh, okay, we haven't used the enumerate. Let's see now. Do we have any more error? Okay, you can see guys both the test case passed. So let's submit this code. Let's see whether we have done any mistake or not. And I believe guys we haven't done. You can see guys it successfully got accepted. So we have done with the Python. Now let's move to the next programming language, which is nothing but we can say C++. Let's quickly do with C++ as well. And here what I'm going to say, I'm going to say, okay, first of all, take a vector of int. The name I'm going to give frequency of 26 character of 0. Initially all have 0. So this means nothing but it's going to store the frequency of all the characters. At max there could be 26 character, right? Now we're going to traverse of all the character for int I 0, I less than s dot length I plus plus. And here what I'm going to say, fine, frequency of this index is going to be what, I minus not I, we can say s of I, right? S of I minus we can say a, right? So this is going to be nothing but index plus equal to 1, right? Once this is done, then what we are going to do, we are going to simply say fine, this is done. We can get the maximum frequency right now, who has which character has maximum frequency. So for that we have to define two things into max frequency and letter, that letter, right? Fine. So we are going to say initially they are 0. Let's mark letter is 0, max frequency also 0. Fine. So we are going to say fine for int I0 I less than we can say our frequency dot size I plus plus, and here we can say if our frequency of this I is greater than, if it is greater than our max frequency. So what are you going to do? You're going to say fine, make max frequency equal to this at the frequency of I, make max frequency of I, make max frequency is equal to frequency of I, and one more thing guys, letter should be equal to now this I, right? Fine. Once this whole thing is done, then what we are going to do, we are going to simply say guys we got a maximum frequency, we got a letter, which letter has maximum frequency. Then we're going to say if maximum frequency is greater than what, is greater than s, right, s dot length plus 1 divided by 2. If it is greater than divided by 2, then what we are going to do, we are going to simply say return empty string. I have it making a sense. But if it is also not the case, then what we are going to do, we are going to simply say now, first of all, take first max frequency character and insert on the 0 indexes, even indexes, then move to the rest of the characters. So we can say for node, we can simply use a while loop while frequency of this letter is greater than 0. Keep moving, right? And here we are saying that, okay, we have to make first char array as well, right? So vector char, the name I'm going to give result is going to have a size as dot length, and by default it's going to have a value empty, right? Fine. So everything is done, right? Now what we are going to do, we are going to simply say result of one more thing is left, index, right? We haven't defined index. We are going to start index is equal to 0. Result of index is going to be what? Result of index is going to be we can say simply that letter plus 97, right? Fine. So once this is done, then what we are going to do, we are going to simply say let's say here after this index plus equal to 2. So because we have to move to the next index, and frequency of index minus equal to 1, because we have taken already one index here, one character. Fine. Now once this is done, then we are going to move to the rest of the characters. So we are going to say okay, for int I is equal to 0, I less than 26, because there could be x max 26 character, and here we say while frequency of I is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, then what we are going to do, we are going to simply say fine, check first of all if index is greater than or equal to s dot length. If it is so, then what you're going to do, you can say index should be equal to now 1. Fine. And if it is not the case, or case, now whatever is this, it has been sorted. Now what we are going to do, we are going to move to the character. So we are going to say result of this index should be equal to now your I plus 97, and we can say index plus equal to 2, and frequency of this I should be incremented by 1. And then you can simply say you go to your string. Now you can say return your string, right? So what we can say string, and here we can say result dot begin and result dot end, right? So we are going to make a string from the char vector. Let's see whether it's working fine or not. I believe it should work, right? Let's see. So it's taking a time, right? But I believe it should work. No, it's still in there, empty character constant. So okay, let's give it a space, let a space, right? Let's see now. Because anyway we are going to update it, right? So there's no going to be error initialize. What it's mean here, help overflow. So guys, something is missing, we are missing something. Let's see. If frequency of letter is greater than 0, keep moving. Okay, so if we are saying indexes, right? So this is not the case. Let's see now. I believe now it should work. You can see both the test case pass. So let's try to submit this code, and I believe it will also gonna accept it. Okay, let's see. You can see guys, successfully got accepted finally. Now let's move to the Java, right? And really I have a fear with the Java and JavaScript, but let's see. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say first of all create an array. If you can say, so what I'm going to say, I'm going to say vector, not vector, I'm going to say here int frequency is equal to new int of 26, and fine. Now we are going to find for int I is equal to 0, I less than s dot length I plus plus, and here what I'm going to say frequency of I plus equal to 1, right? Not I, index plus what we have to do, we have to say okay, this is I, but here we need index with respect to the our character side. On 0 indexes we should have a, on 1 indexes we should have b. So how we can do this here, we can simply say here I, and I whatever the I is there, so we have to take first of all this frequency, right? So this I s of I is going to be the character, and in this character we have to say minus 97, right? After doing this, we are going to see comes once you got all the frequency, you have to take a maximum and the minimum frequency, right? Fine. So what we are going to do, we are going to say let's define two things. Into max frequency is 0 initially, and letter is also 0. Letter means which letter has the maximum frequency, right? Fine. So now what we are going to do, we are going to simply say fine. What we are going to do, we are going to move to the all the character frequency, and we have to find the maximum frequency, right? So we can say 4 int I is equal to 0, I less than 26, I plus plus. We are moving to all the characters. We are saying if frequency of this I is greater than our max frequency, so max frequency should be equal to frequency of I, and we can say our data should be equal to this I, right? Once this is done, means we got a maximum frequency, right? Now we are going to say first of all check if maximum frequency is greater than s dot length plus 1 divided by 2. If it is so, then you have to return empty string. But if it is not the case, then what you're going to do, you're going to say first of all take the maximum character while frequency of letter means which letter has maximum character. If it is greater than 0, keep moving. So first of all, we are putting a maximum character frequency, right? The character which have maximum frequency on the 0, not 0, we can say even indexes, right? So we are starting from 0, so we have to define two things. First of all, char array, and guys, here also this is the issue what we'll say later. So here we are going to say char array. So what we can say, char result is going to be new char of how much length, s dot length, right? I hope it making a sense. Fine. So what we are going to do, we are going to say okay, so result of char, result of idx, and idx also start from 0. So int idx is starting from 0, right? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say result of idx, right? So it is initially from 0 starting. So we can say simply char, we have to type casting letter plus 97. So what this is going to do, this is going to say okay, now I have to insert on that indexes a character. So I will insert it a character. So it will insert a character, index plus equal to 2. We'll move to the next even indexes. Then we can say find frequency of letter should be decrement by 1. Fine. So this is the simple thing which we have to do. Again, let's move here. Now we are going to move to the rest of the character. For int I 0, I less than 26, I plus plus. And here we can say while frequency of this particular I is greater than 0, keep moving. And here what you have to do, you have to say result. First of all, check if your index is greater than or equal to s dot length. If it is so, then what you can say? You can say index should be equal to 1. Right? Fine. Now once this is done, then what we are going to do? We are going to simply say result of index should be equal to what? Result of index should be equal to char of I plus 97. Same thing we are doing, which we have done in the above. Index plus equal to 2 and frequency of I minus equal to 1. Right? After this, we can simply say okay. So once we got our char array, we can simply return new string, and in the string we can pass our char array, right? So this is the simple thing, guys. I hope there is no doubt in this particular case. First of all, we are finding a frequency. After that, we are finding maximum frequency, which character have maximum frequency. First of all, we are filling a maximum character frequency, the character which have a maximum frequency, and after that we are putting all the rest of the letter. Now let's see whether we can find or no. So just give me a second, guys. I'm also looking one more thing. So we got an error. Cannot find a symbol, right? Alright, so this is also the case, right? One thing we can do simple here, instead of doing all these stuffs, we can say for I, not for I, we can simply char ch s2 char array. So we are traversing over this complete array, right? Fine. So we are saying that now instead of doing s of I, because we have to use s dot char array, right? So instead of that, we can do simply like this. Now let's see whether it's working fine or no. I believe it should work, right? It's working fine. So there is no length, right? So okay, so I use a simple length. I have to use s dot length bracket, right? Let's see anywhere else we have used a length, right? Here we have used a length. Now let's see whether that's working fine or no. So yeah, I think it should work, right? You can see both the test case passed. So let's try to submit this code. Alright, so you can see, guys, all the test case passed. So it also got submitted, right? Now let's move to the last programming language, which in nothing but we can say JavaScript. Fine. So here what we are going to do, first of all, we are going to take an array, frequency array. So we can say here const frequency, which is going to be new array. Fine. So new array of size what? Size is going to be 26 always, you know, and we have to fill by default 0 value. Right. So we have created an array, frequency array. Now we are going to move to all the characters. So we can say for let I is equal to 0 and I less than s dot length, right? And I plus plus. And here what we can do, we can simply say frequency of this I is going to be what? Frequency of I, not I. We can simply say here I is going to be indexes, right? And what we want a correct indexes with respect to the character, right? On 0 indexes we should have A, on 1 indexes we should have B, on second indexes we should have C, right? So how we can think about an index? What should be the index here? So whatever this character s of I, right? So we have to say okay, so we have to say our C, whatever the character is this, so we can say s of I dot and char code at 0, whatever this code. After that what we have to do, we have to subtract minus 97, we have to say plus equal to 1. So this is how we got this particular index is correct, right? So s of I dot char code at 0, what it's going to be do, it's going to be say If your character is A, so it's going to give you 97. If you're B, it is going to give you 90, right? So after that we are subtracting by 97 and we are getting our correct index, right? After that, once we got this frequency array, then we are going to move to the rest of the character. No rest of the character, we are going to find a maximum frequency, right? So we can say maximum frequency initially 0, and what we can say, letter which have maximum character is also, that particular is also 0. Let's keep it right. So what we can say simply, now let's move to the all the let I 0, I less than 26, I plus plus. If your frequency of I is greater than your max frequency, so you can simply say your max frequency now should be equal to what? Frequency of I. Letter should be updated to this particular indexes, right? So once we got a maximum frequency and letter which has maximum frequency, then what we can say is we can simply say fine, check first of all max frequency. If it is greater than, if max frequency is greater than what? If it is greater than our s dot length plus 1 divided by 2, and not divided by 2 only, we have to use a math dot flow because it give a floating value as well. Math dot flow. If it is so, then what you can say? You can say simply return empty string. But if it is not the case, then that means we can insert, we can have at least one possibilities, right? So we're going to use that possibilities. We are going to first of all take the maximum, the letter which have maximum frequency, and we'll start filling from the 0 indexes. So we are going to say first of all let index is going to start from 0, and one more thing, our array const result is going to be new array of what? Array of 20, not 26, s dot length, s dot length, right? Fine. Dot fill. What do you have to fill on that place? You have to fill an empty string, right? You can fill empty string. Fine. Now what we are going to do? We are going to say okay. First of all, move to the character which has maximum frequency and start filling on the even indexes. So while our frequency of letter is greater than 0, if it is so, then what we are going to do? We are going to say okay. Result of idx should be equal to now what? It should be equal to, okay. So how we can take this? We can simply say okay letter, right? So we can say string dot from char code of this particular letter, right? Fine. Plus 97, right? I hope it makes sense. So once this is done, then what we are going to do? We are going to simply say fine, or we can simply say letter plus 97, right? Okay. So after this, we have to syntax plus equal to 2, and then we can say frequency of letter, right, minus equal to 1. Fine. After that, we have, once we done with the maximum frequency character, we are going to move to the rest of the character. So we can say for let I is equal to 0, I less than 26, I plus plus. If our index, not if, we have to say while our frequency of I is greater than 0. If occurrence of this character is greater than 0, so we have to insert in our string, right? So if occurrence is greater than 0, first of all check if index is greater than your s dot length. If it is so, then what you going to say? You can say start from the next is going to start from the 1, right? We have already seen this case in the logic part, right? Once this is done, then what we are going to say? We are going to say result of index should be equal to now what? Result of index should be equal to again same thing, string from char code letter plus 97, not letter. Here we have to use I, right? Fine. So once this is done, then what we can say index plus equal to 2, and we can say frequency of this I should be decremented by 1. And then once we got our character array, now we are going to say return. This is our result dot join. The all character we have to join without space. Fine. And let's see whether it's going to find or not. Or do we have any error in this? So you can see both the test case passed finally without any error. Let's see whether it's getting submitted or not. No, we got a wrong answer. F5. Let's see. So we are saying that NPNAAN. Alright, so we got a wrong answer. Why CTC? So can you see any character which are getting? Yeah, you can see Z has been replaced by 2, right? So something we have missed here, guys. Just let me see. Give me a second. So yeah, here we have a user greater than equal to, right? Now let's use this test case first of all. And after this, let's try to run this code first of all. So it should pass, right? You can see third test case is also passed. Selected to submit this code, and I believe it will also get submitted. Let's see. And you can see it successfully got accepted. So we have done the implementation with Python, C++, Java, and JavaScript programming languages finally. If you have any kind of doubt in the problem understanding part, logic part, implementation part, you can directly ask in the comment section always, right? I'm always there to help you. And if you learn something new in this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe my channel. Meet you in the next video.